MrBallen, Bingeable Scary Stories.
Today, we have a very special bonus video for you guys. It's a collection of 5 fan favorites that are all just straight nightmare fuel.
Okay.
Now,
Scary
even if
ones.
you've heard or seen one or all of these stories before, keep in mind they've all been completely re-edited for today's episode, so it should feel like a brand new viewing experience. But before we get into today's 5 stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, you come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So if that's of interest to you, please offer to do the like button's laundry.
What's he gonna do?
When you do a load of their colored clothes, go ahead and just fill it up with a whole bunch of bleach.
Isn't that
Also,
good?
please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads.
Do you not bleach your clothes anyway?
Okay, let's get into today's 5 stories.
Only white? The Axeman.
In 2014, the United States Navy decided it was time to decommission one of their old frigate ships, and so they sent it to a dock to be broken down for scrap.
Okay.
In order for workers to actually be able to access the underside of the ship and actually begin to break it down, they would need to dry dock the ship, which meant the ship would basically drive into this special locking corral where the doors would shut behind it, the water would drain out from underneath, and the ship would be left resting on these huge wooden blocks that elevated it off the ground. And with no water in there, workers were able to get underneath the hull and could access every part of the ship without obstruction.
That would be terrifying. That would be terrifying. Every single second, I'd be thinking the ship is gonna tumble over.
It's important to note for this story that when a ship is in dry dock, there is only one way on or off. It's this ramp called a gangway that leads from the dock onto the deck of the ship. Besides that, there is nowhere else for you to get on this ship. And if for some reason you really wanted to get on and couldn't use the gangway, you could in theory try to run and leap from the dock to the ship. There's a pretty significant gap there all the way around, but you could try the jump. But if you weren't successful at grabbing onto the ship, you would fall multiple stories, probably to your death, because
I'm not gonna jump that. I'm okay. I'm just gonna go the gangway.
There's no water in the dry dock. So this old frigate ship that was being decommissioned was officially dry docked in July of 2014. The first group of people that went on board the ship to begin dismantling it were military personnel. They were in charge of removing all of the sensitive...
Yo, who came up with these shipping terms, by the way? We got dry dock and gangbang. Like, bro, what in the goddamn horny person was coming up with these names?
Equipment before civilians were allowed to go on board. The military personnel begin to wrap up and it's getting late in the day, and they tell the foreman who's in charge of all of the civilian workers that are going to be going on and finishing this decommissioning of this ship. They go to the foreman and they say, hey, we're done, we're wrapped up for the night.
4 men as well? Yo, are we on the right story here? 4 men going on a gangway to a dry dock? Like, bro, what is going on?
Workers are good to go, they can get on here tomorrow. The foreman would send a message to his boss that night, letting him know that they were on track to start work the next day. The boss would respond and say, hey, can you go on there tonight and take pictures of all the different workstations so we know how many people that we need to place in different segments of this big ship. So the foreman walks onto the ship and proceeds to take hundreds of pictures all over the inside of the ship. Now, the ship itself was...
Yo, an empty ship with nobody in would be actually scary. That would actually be creepy.
Pitch black inside. There was no electricity and it was nighttime. So
like, for some weird reason, chat, a ship not in water on land just seems creepier than if it was like sailing on the water.
He had a flashlight the whole time, but whenever he took a picture, he would turn his flashlight off and then use the flash on his camera before going back to his actual flashlight.
You'll make it even more scarier.
Room to room taking all these pictures, and at some point he realizes he's photographed everything he needs to, so he leaves, he goes back to his office, he uploads the pictures, and he sends them to his boss. His boss wrote back almost immediately and just said, who's the guy with the axe? Now, the foreman has no idea what he's talking about. He was just in the ship by himself for a couple of hours and didn't see anyone. So he reads the email again to make sure he read it correctly, and he sees that his boss has actually attached the picture he's referring to. Here is this guy clearly clutching an axe in...
Oh, I've just got goosebumps. I've just got goosebumps. I've just got goosebumps. What the fuck?
A hallway that he was just in. And even creepier is the foreman is looking at where this picture was taken, and it was relatively early on in his photo shoot, and he had walked past the exact area where this guy's poking his head out of.
Oh my God.
Which means the whole time he was down there, this guy with an axe was there with him. They review the security footage of a camera that was aimed directly at the ramp, the one entrance in and out of this ship, and from the time the foreman left, no one else left. So they don't know how he got on or how he got off without being detected, but somehow he did.
Oh, that's creepy. That is creepy. Creeper ghost.
In July of 2016, a woman living in Chicago, Illinois named Jordan Baranskis opened her eyes and realized she had fallen asleep on the couch the night before.
Okay.
She looked up and the TV was still on, and then she looked down at the other section of the couch and her boyfriend Matt was also asleep on the couch. As much as she wanted to keep sleeping alongside her boyfriend, she had work that day, so she stood up, turned the TV off, and made her way upstairs to get ready. As soon as she got upstairs, the first thing she did is go into her bedroom and get her purse that she left on the foot of her bed. But when she got in the room, her purse wasn't there. So she leaves her bedroom and she starts searching all the rooms upstairs, and she can't find her purse. And she's thinking to herself, I'm certain I had it the night before. I remember rifling through my purse before going downstairs and starting to fold laundry before ultimately falling asleep on the couch.
Right.
So after spending about 15 minutes looking for the purse unsuccessfully, and now she's starting to stress because she's going to be late for work because she can't find her purse, she goes downstairs and she wakes Matt up and says, hey, I gotta find my purse. I thought I left it upstairs. Apparently I didn't. Can you help me look for it? Matt rolls over. He doesn't really want to get up because he's pretty tired and he doesn't have work, so he doesn't want to wake up right now. And he says, well, are you sure you didn't leave it at the restaurant last night? I mean, if you already looked, it's probably not here. You want to just give him a call and see if you left it there? Jordan was immediately really annoyed by his reaction because she just wanted him to stand up and help her look for the purse because she had work. And he
Yo, chat, I do feel like we have seen this a while back. He did say these are like stories that you may have seen but re-edited. I don't remember it, so I'm still going. You guys know I got a terrible memory. I can't really recall this one. I think it was from a while back. So we're still going to rock with this.
Just go back to sleep. And so it started this argument between the two of them where Matt just wanted her to call the restaurant because he was convinced she had it there.
Right.
And Jordan was like, no, I know I had my purse. I'm positive I had it last night before I fell asleep on the couch with you. So their argument begins to escalate a little bit. And that's when Jordan remembers that they had recently installed a Nest camera downstairs to monitor their dogs whenever they were gone.
See, they can easily check on it.
Look at the footage on the Nest camera. We can see me walking into the apartment and I will either have or not have my purse in my hand. And so Jordan opens up her app and she calls Matt over and they go back to the night before, right before they left for the restaurant. She's got her purse in hand. They leave the front door and then several hours go by and they come back in and very clearly
she's
Jordan
got a
has her purse in her hand. And Jordan turns to Matt and says, told you so. And Matt's like, okay, fine, let me help you look. And as they're about to put the app down, she realizes on the Nest camera timeline that motion was detected at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh no.
When they were both clearly asleep on the couch.
Oh
and so
no.
she calls Matt back over and says, here, look, there's motion detected at 3:30 in the morning, and they hit play. After the couple had fallen asleep.
Oh, wait, yeah, chat, it's this famous clip. Even without this story, I've seen this footage like a billion times. This will never not be creepy. This is one of the creepiest clips I've ever seen. This segment right here. Like, you're sleeping on the sofa and the guy's up there watching you. Bro, that is horrible.
On the couch with the TV on, a hooded figure emerges from
that
the
is horrible
and stands at the top of the stairs and just watches the two of them sleep. Before he left, he stole her purse along with a couple of other things.
Oh my god.
And somehow this guy has never been caught and he's been given the nickname Creeper Ghost.
He's just watching them. He's just watching them. Chat, that is so creepy because it's so relatable. Like, if you're just sleeping on the sofa one day, someone's broke in and is just spying on you and you don't even know. Like, oh my god. That is horrible. And that's today's video done. I don't think I want to go into a video that's called 37 demons. One demon's bad enough. Never mind 30 goddamn 7. 37 demons? Nah. Time out. Time out. Nah, I don't want to deal with 37 demons, man. That's an army of demons.
In early 1974, 31-year-old Michael Taylor was living happily with his wife Christine and their 5 children in Ossett, which is a small town in central England. Michael was described as a great father and a great husband who had an excellent sense of humor.
Chat, I swear to God, I'm in England, bro. If after this video, I have 37 demons after me, I'm bringing them to you. I'm bringing every single person watching this video right now, I'm bringing them to your house.
In fact, neighbors, whenever they would walk past the Taylor household, would say you could often hear the sound of Michael laughing or the sound of him telling jokes to his family. But in April of that year, everything changed for the Taylor family. Michael had been doing some home repairs when he fell off of a ladder and he hurt his back. The injury itself was fairly minor, but it resulted in chronic pain. And this chronic pain quickly changed how Michael behaved. Michael went from being this cheerful, funny, happy guy to being sad and depressed. And he was so irritable that his family could barely be around him because he would lash out at them. Now, the Taylor family was not a religious family. However, most families who lived in Ossett at that time were. And so when one of Michael's friends found out about how poorly Michael was doing, they approached Michael and said, you know, you really ought to turn to religion for help and for guidance in this difficult time. And they also told him specifically that he really ought to check out this one particular Christian group. It was called the Christian Fellowship Group, and all it was a prayer group for Christians who wanted more religious support beyond just going to church on Sundays. But this friend of Michael's told him that the real draw of this group was the group's leader. Her name was Marie Robinson, and she was this 21-year-old, extremely friendly and energetic and charismatic person.
Wait. She was the draw. Why? What did all the guys fancy her? Like what why is she the draw? Are they all going to church? Like what's going on? What's going on?
Who just had this incredible way of making all of her members really feel like they belonged. And so Michael's friend was telling him that he really thought Marie could be the difference maker for him, that she could help him get back to normal. And so Michael, you know, he trusted this friend and he really didn't have much to lose at this point. He was already at rock bottom. And so he agrees to go check this group out. So on September 12th of that year, Michael makes his way to the church where this fellowship group is held. He goes inside and he makes his way to one of the back rooms in the church. And when he goes inside, he sees there's a ring of people sitting in a circle, about 20 people.
It's a cult. It's a goddamn cult. I didn't realize we had cults in the UK. We got a cult called 37 Demons? That's like the worst of the worst. What the
And as soon as they see Michael coming in the room, they all stand up and they open their arms up and they say, come on, come sit down with us. Welcome to the group. And then the woman who had to be Marie, she stands up and she looks at Michael, huge smile on her face, and she encourages him to come over and sit right next to me. Welcome. We'd love to have you join our group. And so Michael, for the first time in ages, is smiling as he strides across the room and sits down right next to Marie. And then as Marie began to lead the group in prayer, Michael did not feel his chronic pain. He just felt happy again. But when the meeting was over and Michael went back home again, the pain and depression came flooding back. It was like the only place he could be happy was inside of the church at this fellowship group.
Michael, are you sure they're not slipping drugs into your drink? Now you got to think here, Michael. Are you drinking their drinks? Are you eating their food? Because you got to be smart.
And so over the next couple of weeks, Michael completely prioritized this group. He went to all of their meetings, and over the course of these couple of weeks, Michael became very close with Marie, and apparently Marie became very close with Michael, to the point where the two of them would stay after the meetings were over, and just those two would sequester themselves in quiet prayer. No one knew what they did in there.
Man, I need to get my mind out the gutter. I automatically think they're fucking. They're just praying together, bro. Like, why does my mind automatically go, they're fucking?
But it just seemed like they were developing a real relationship. And in fact, many people in this group suspected they were having an affair. And before long...
Oh, it's not just me, then. It's not just me. They probably are fucking. They probably are. They probably are. They probably are.
The rumors in the church had spread outside and were all over Osset. And then before long, Christine, Michael's wife, was hearing from a friend or a neighbor that apparently Michael was having an affair with Marie. Now,
Damn.
Christine had already suspected her husband was having an affair with Marie because Marie was the only thing Michael talked about when he got home.
That must be annoying.
On October 1st of that year, only a couple of weeks after Michael had first attended this group, Christine waited until Michael had left the house to head out to one of the group meetings. And then Christine hopped in her car and she followed him to the church. And when she got there, she parked her car, she took a deep breath, and then she got out. She made her way to the front doors of the church and she stormed inside. And she found the room where these meetings were held. She barges in and she points at her husband and she says, "I know you're having an affair with Marie, and you're going to admit it in front of this whole group." And Michael, who's sitting with...
No. Catch him in the act. Don't do that. Catch him in the act.
His back to his wife in one of the chairs. He stands up and instead of addressing his wife, who's accused him of infidelity, he turns and looks at Marie on the other side of the room. And when Marie made eye contact with Michael, she screamed. She would later say Michael did not look human. He looked like a beast and he had wild eyes. And so as Michael is standing there staring at Marie with this very aggressive face, he began breaking out in tongues. Speaking in tongues is where the speaker will be saying or uttering words or sounds that sound like language, but the speaker doesn't know what they mean.
What are you talking about? Well, I assume speaking in tongues is like... Is that what speaking in tongues is? Is that what he's doing? Oh, man, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
The idea is some entity has come inside of their body.
He's drunk.
And this entity is dictating their speech. And so Michael is broken out in tongues. And he's barking these words and sounds at Marie.
Now he's
and
barking?
Everyone inside of the room has no idea what to make of this. Everything has happened so suddenly and it's so surprising. You have the wife suddenly coming in and aggressively accusing her husband of cheating. And Michael is not responding to it and he's acting totally crazy. And then before anyone can do anything, Michael goes from just barking in strange languages at Marie to suddenly rushing across the room as if he's going to attack her. And when he does that, the rest of the members jump on top of him and hold him down.
Oh, shit.
And despite there being like 10 or 15 people holding him down, Michael is still trying to get up and he's screaming and snarling and yelling at Marie. And then Marie suddenly breaks out into tongues too. And it's only then that Michael stops trying to force himself up out of this pig pile that's on top of him, and instead he just continues to speak in tongues to her. And so the two of them...
Yo, at this point, leave him to it. Leave these two goddamn freaks to it. Bro, yo, if I see my wife have an affair with somebody and they're both going, you both could have each other. You know what? You know what? I congratulate both of you. I'll be at your wedding. Well, I'm definitely not coming to your wedding. You both are fucking freaks. I'm gone. Hey, you two. I'm rooting for you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Them are looking at each other, speaking in tongues, and the rest of the group is just totally dumbfounded, and so they just begin praying. And then after about an hour, Michael just collapses. It's like he went unconscious. And at that point, everybody in the room just goes silent, and they look at Michael, and then Michael kind of opens his eyes, and it's almost like he's waking up, and he begins looking around frantically, trying to figure out what had just happened. Michael would claim he had no memory of what had just happened to him. And so at this point, Marie would tell him...
I bet he had no memory of the affair either.
Him and Christine that she believed Michael was possessed by a demonic force, and the only thing they could do at this point would be to perform an exorcism. An exorcism...
Yo, I've heard of men coming up with crazy excuses to why they had an affair. I did not know they went to an extent of being possessed. Bro, this is a very extreme excuse of you having an affair. You do this whole pantomime that you're fucking possessed. You then start having it. Like, bro, at this point, just telling you don't want it no more, man. Like, you're doing too much.
Is an expulsion or attempted expulsion of a supposedly evil spirit inside of a person or a place. Michael and Christine were at a loss. They had no idea what to do in this situation. They were both kind of in shock for very different reasons. And so they just kind of deferred to Marie's judgment and said, yeah, I think...
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, sorry, babe, I cheated on you. It wasn't me. It was the demon inside of me. Yeah. That's not going to go down too well. That's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Guys, we can't be doing that.
An exorcism is the way to go. So Christine and Michael just leave the church and go home. And then the next morning, Marie would get in touch with the Anglican Church of England and would request an exorcism. And after hearing about what was going on with Michael, the Anglican Church would say, yeah, that does sound like he needs an exorcism. And so the following day, they would send out 2 of their best exorcists named Peter and Raymond. And so Peter and Raymond, they get to Ossett, they go to Michael's house, and they observe him. And very quickly, they determine that it does seem like Michael is possessed by at least one demonic force. And so they tell Michael, the only thing we can do here is perform this exorcism, but we need you to agree to it. And so Michael says, okay, yeah, I agree to this exorcism. And so would his wife, because she at this point is just completely unsure what to do. She's just going along. She's just gotta leave. So a day later, on October 4th at 10 p.m., Michael, his wife, and the rest of the members of this fellowship group, along with Peter and Raymond, they would all meet at this other church in a neighboring town. And as soon as Michael had been positioned in the middle of this group in this chair, Peter and Raymond began the ritual by praying. And as soon as they did, Michael began screaming out in tongues, and he began writhing around, and he fell to the ground, and he began contorting his body in grotesque positions, as if the words Peter and Raymond were saying were physically harming Michael. And so after 8 hours of this, during which they had to actually tie Michael down to prevent him from hurting other members or hurting himself, after 8 hours...
Wait, what about the girl he was having an affair with, though? Like, she started speaking in tongue as well.
They finally just came to a stop. Peter and Raymond were exhausted. It looked very much like Michael, too, was exhausted. And as soon as they stopped the ritual, Michael just kind of collapsed on the ground as if he had fallen unconscious. And then at some point, he kind of wakes up and he's looking around wildly. He's still tied down to the ground, and he's acting like he has no idea what's just happened. And at this point, Peter and Raymond, they tell him that, the exorcism was mostly successful. We identified 40 demons inside of you, 40! And this exorcism was able to expel...
Yo, bro, if somebody's got 40 demons inside of them, just ship them off. You got 40 demons in you? Bro, ship them off somewhere. I know. UK did it with Australia. We shipped off all the prisoners. You know what I'm saying? Just ship them off to an island. Send them somewhere.
37 of them. So that means there's still 3 demons inside of you. Now, we can't do it right now. We're too tired. You're too exhausted. So go home, get some rest, and tomorrow we will finish this exorcism. We will get rid of those 3 demons, and you will be just fine. And so Michael and Christine, they get their things, and they leave the church, and they head home. A few hours later, around noon, a woman...
Wait, yeah, good question. How do you even count all 40 demons? Like, is there a tracker? Do we have GPS on them? Like, what's going on there? How do we know 3's in, 37's gone? Ultra, thanks so much for the sub, dude.
Who lived near where Michael Taylor and his family lived, thought she heard something strange outside of her house. It sounded like someone yelling. And so she went to the front of the house and she pulled the curtain aside on one of her windows. And outside, walking down the street, completely naked, covered in blood, was Michael Taylor. And he was saying something about Satan. And so this woman, she calls the police show up and they find Michael. He had curled up on the sidewalk outside of this woman's house and he was giggling like a child in the fetal position.
Oh, God.
And so the police approach him, and at some point Michael apparently snaps out of it and he starts looking up at the police like he has no idea what's going on. And eventually they would get him to tell them his name and where he lived. And so after calling in backup to deal with Michael, the responding officers made their way to Michael's residence. And so they go inside, and immediately, as soon as they see what's in there, one of the officers just turns around and runs outside and begins dry heaving.
Fuck. He's killed his wife, honey. No. Please don't this end with you killing your wife. You've had an affair. You've had 40 demons inside of you. She don't deserve this.
The inside of the Taylor family home would become one of the most infamous crime scenes in English history.
Oh,
a few hours earlier, when Michael and his wife had come home from the exorcism, they had gone inside, and then Michael had fallen into one of his trances and began beating his wife. And then at some point...
Oh, no, she didn't deserve this, bro. Why did she not leave him? Guys, if your partner has an affair on you, yeah, and has 40 demons, it's time to leave. Don't even give it a chance. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Leave. Go. Bro, if my partner had even a fraction of a demon inside them, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
She fell to the ground and either was dead or was in the process of dying, at which point Michael jumped on top of her, and using only his hands, he ripped her face off and flung it across the room. And then as she's laying there bleeding to death, he began rubbing her blood all over his body. And then after she had finally died, he tracked down the family dog and killed the dog as well.
I hope you... Hey, listen. Don't even get the demons out of him. Put the demons back in him. Put him in a goddamn cage for the rest of his pathetic fucking life, bro. You killed the dog? Hey, I was pissed at the wife. The dog? Nah. Bro, the dog? Yeah, someone called John Wick.
Fortunately, their 5 children were not home at the time of this attack, and so they were unharmed.
Luckily,
during Michael's trial, the prosecution and the defense blamed the Anglican Church of England and Marie and her religious group for effectively convincing Michael he was possessed with demons, which caused him to act out violently and kill his wife. And so ultimately, Michael would be found not guilty by reason of insanity, and after only 4 years of psychiatric care, he was released. And
he's still walking around now in England. This demonic motherfucker is still walking around today. He's still walking. Yo, wait, no. Wait. Does he still have the demons inside of him? Does he still have the demons inside of him? Because if he has the demons inside of him, I don't want to go near him. Chat, I was going to go and fuck him up for killing the dog. If he's still got the demons, then I'm not going near him. I'm not going near him. Bro, that's crazy. He's behind you. No, don't even play like that, bro.
Today, he is still living free in Ossett. But despite the...
Where's Ossett? Where's Ossett in England? Where's Ossett? Where's Ossett? No, not Australia. I don't know where Ossett is.
Legal outcomes of this case, there are many people, both religious and not religious, who believe the Michael Taylor case is one of the only true demonic possession cases in modern history.
Bro,
also,
what
just to close the loop, we don't know for sure if Michael and Marie were having an affair, but it is assumed they were.
Yo, how can a guy rip off someone's face and kill the dog, and he's walking around my streets today? With 40 demons in him. That is insane. That is insane. Ossett is south of Leeds, close to Manchester. Okay, so a good few hours away from me. Hey, buddy, don't come to Birmingham, please. Thank you. Don't bring you and your fucking 40 demons here. Jeez, I like my face and I like my dog. Man, that's crazy.